It's Friday night, a packed nightclub. The music's pumping, you can feel the energy, but this story doesn't have a happy ending. This deep dive takes us to a very different scene, to a tragedy that unfolded in North Macedonia, a nightclub fire that claimed lives. We're here to look at the human impact of this event, and specifically, the loss of one young athlete caught in the chaos, Andrej Lazarov.
Yeah. It's a stark reminder that places meant for joy, for celebration, can turn tragic in an instant. And out of the many affected, Andrej's story really stands out. He was only 25 years old, a midfielder for FC Shkupi, a real up-and-coming talent in the Macedonian First Football League, a promising career cut short.
His team posted on Facebook after his passing, and their words were just, heartbreaking. You could tell this was more than losing a player. This was like losing a family member.
Absolutely. That bond in a team, that shared passion, it's powerful. It's like a brotherhood. And I remember reading his coach talked about Andrej's dedication, how he was always the first to arrive at practice, always the last to leave. That work ethic, it really resonated with his teammates.
It's those little details that make this loss so real, so personal. And as we remember Andrej, we also have to ask, what happened that night? The fire spread incredibly fast, and investigators are still trying to understand what caused it.
There's been a lot of speculation. Some early reports mentioned possible electrical problems, others focused on overcrowding. But sadly, these kinds of tragedies in nightclubs aren't that uncommon. There's often a whole mix of factors, from safety shortcuts, maybe even negligence. It's rarely just one thing.
Which brings us to the bigger question. How do we prevent something like this from happening again? What can we learn from this? What needs to change to make sure these spaces are safe?
That's the key question. This tragedy shines a light on how important safety measures are. Clearly marked exits, good ventilation systems, sensible crowd control. Even simple stuff, like making sure fire extinguishers are easy to find and use. These things can make a huge difference.
It makes you think. How often do we go into these places without a second thought about our safety and the impact of this fire? It's reached far beyond just that one nightclub. The whole Macedonian football community is in mourning.
It's a tragic reminder that life is fragile, especially when it's someone so young with so much potential. But it also forces us to ask tough questions, to demand better safety standards, to hold people accountable.
Andrej's story. It's a loss we can all feel. But it can also be a call to action. It reminds us to cherish every moment and to advocate for safer environments, no matter where we are.
Moving forward, let's remember those impacted by this event, and let's work together to prevent this kind of tragedy from happening again.
This deep dive, it's been tough, but I hope it's made you think. What steps, even small ones, can you take to be more aware of safety in public spaces? It's a conversation we all need to be having, and I hope you continue it.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Thanks for listening.